Hello. So, welcome to Nutrition with Steph. A step above the rest. So that's what the podcast is going to be called. It's going to be Nutrition with a Step Above the Rest. A Step Above the Rest is my Instagram handle. It's been my Instagram handle since I got Instagram. So that is why I'm just trying to keep it, the same on any platform that I have. So it's easy to find me. So I did this podcast about 2 months ago with my friend Sindy. She's someone that I know from holistic nutrition. We went to the same school together. I've seen her grow in the last year. She's done such an amazing job. And I think she just has a really good perspective on nutrition and being a female. She is a female transformation expert. So that is why she's going to be on today. I do have another intro on here, but I'm going to try to edit it out. If I don't, that is why I'm doing this one, and just to clarify a couple things as well. Hope you enjoyed this podcast, and let me know. Rate and comment. Bye. So Sindy, could you just explain a little bit of what you do for work?
Yeah, so I am a holistic nutritionist and I specifically work with women. Currently, I'm working with women in terms of fat loss, and I'm slowly transitioning to creating a program. Actually, it's a new program specifically for women who are looking to build their booty. And that's personally something that I've always wanted when I first started working out. So throughout my fitness journey, that's what I've um, worked really hard at, and it's really helped increase my confidence and just made me feel very great when I go to the gym, like knowing exactly what to do and seeing results. And so that's something that I'm going to be helping women with now.
Sweet. Everyone loves to grow the booty, especially the girls. And honestly, I just find like for myself, like actually training my legs, 'cause I used to freaking hate my legs. I don't know. All of us always hate something about our bodies, especially for a woman. But for myself, I always hated my legs. And when I actually started training them and being like, oh, like they're actually like really strong, like I had a new meaning for them, right?
Mhm.
So what made you want to study holistic nutrition?
So prior to going to the Institute of Holistic Nutrition, I actually had my bachelor's from Ryerson University in nutrition. And so that
Nice.
was a 4-year program, but it was so different than holistic nutrition because we didn't cover anything like that was related to natural health. And it didn't show me that there was the possibility of healing holistically. So, not just looking at food, but also lifestyle, and so many things impact our health that we didn't talk about in that program. And I just knew that there was something else out there. So, I believe while I was in third or second year, I went to this natural health show in Toronto, and
Nice.
that's where IHN had a booth. And so I talked to some of the teachers there, and I was like, okay, this is for me. So I told myself that once I finished my bachelor's, I would go to IHN afterwards and pursue that. So yeah,
Nice. So did you do dietetics? Was it dietetics or
yeah.
oh wow. So were you planning on being a dietitian?
Yeah, I was. There's certain courses you have to take in order to become a dietitian. And then in your fourth year, you have to apply for internships or masters.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I did apply for one internship. It was for an eating disorder program because
Hmm.
the reason I went to study nutrition was because I had an eating disorder and that's what I wanted to recover from so that eventually I could help other women with that.
Yeah.
And I guess when I applied to that internship, I wasn't 100% in it. Like, when you want something and you're like, this is exactly what I want. So I'm going to do everything I can to get it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I applied for that, I knew in my heart it wasn't 100%. So I wasn't really disappointed when I didn't get it.
Yeah, that
So when
makes
I didn't get
sense.
it, I was like, it's totally fine. I'm just going to go to IHN anyways.
Yeah.
And
You already had a
that's where I
backup plan.
found my actual passion.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So do you think like
I can't
I don't
really
know,
hear you
for
right now.
myself, sorry, what? Could you hear me still?
Is your audio off?
It shouldn't be.
Or maybe it's me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, let me just
Hold on.
Okay, I
No,
can
I
hear
can
you
see
now.
my mic.
My earphone's not working.
Oh no. Okay. So I actually wanted to dive in a little bit more into the eating disorder stuff because um, a lot of my clients suffer with this type of thing too. I just find like everyone's almost on the spectrum of disordered eating. And we all like if you talk to any holistic nutritionist or someone who gets into dietetics, it's always because they had their own issues with food. And like me similarly as well, like food was healing for me. So that's definitely why I wanted to get more into nutrition as well. And I think I always had that little bit of a I don't know. I'm just like, I need to know more about it, right? I always had a science brain, but also like I knew a little bit was because of the eating disorder. So when when did you have that switch where you're like, I actually want to help people? And were you still suffering when you were in dietetics and holistic nutrition, or were you kind of out of that bubble yet? Or was it a healing process in itself?
Okay, so in 12th grade, so grade 12 of high school, I was in an inpatient program at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that was when I decided to study nutrition because in grade 12, you have to apply for universities. And I thought maybe that could be some way that I could help myself heal and then eventually help other women. So that's why I thought studying nutrition would give me that knowledge so that I could help myself and then eventually help others. What
That's
was
like kind of amazing though. Like you were still suffering, but you're like, I know I need to help other people. Like, but I think I was talking to you before. I was just like, I didn't even know I had an eating disorder until all of a sudden I was, not to be graphic, like puking in my washroom. And I'm like, this is messed up. I'm 25. What's going on? So like the fact that you knew that at such a young age and you're just like, I need to help that's like freaking, that's inspiring. That's really amazing. That's such a like great mindset. How do you think you got to that mindset?
um, so I guess I was also like I also had bulimia. So it was very tough for me to get out of that like binge purge cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there were moments where, okay, it's kind of graphic, but I would be like over the toilet seat and I would tell myself, I'm either going to live like this for the rest of my life or I'm going to pick myself up and do something about it because I don't want to keep struggling this way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just making that conscious decision that you deserve something better than what you have now. And you have that choice to do it.
Yeah, that's that's it's a turning point, right? You got to like almost hit that rock bottom in
Mm-hmm.
order to really get that feeling. And would you say that you do you well, would you say you believe like in recovery, like complete recovery, or do you feel like it's just something you manage?
I'm not really sure what is defined as complete recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, I still have some thoughts here and there, but it's just being conscious and catching those thoughts and then challenging them.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely took several years. Like I still struggled with it throughout university, throughout IHN. And there were moments where I felt like a hypocrite because I was like, I'm studying nutrition, but I'm struggling with it myself. So how am I ever going to help other people with this? So there were so many times where I doubted myself because I didn't think that I would be 100% recovered.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty surprised now that I'm at such a good place where I am, where I'm not fearful of food anymore and
Mm-hmm.
enjoying all foods in moderation.
Yeah,
And it's amazing. It's such a great feeling. So, like, knowing that's
definitely is.
possible for me, like, I know it's possible for other women.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. And like even with your Instagram, I do notice that it's very like just the way you talk about food and everything. Like you're obviously a person that loves it and you want to like share that message. So is that like kind of like part of the program you want to like create is just creating that like really healthy relationship with food?
Um,
Or is it going to be just like more aesthetics and booty focus, which is totally fine. I mean, it's always good to have like a really good goal.
I think the current program that I'm building, I want it to be specifically for women who are trying to grow their glutes.
Yeah.
So there is going to be like a training and nutrition aspect, lots of education, but it's not focused on like relationship with food.
Okay.
Um, it's not really targeted for women who are struggling with any disordered eating.
Yeah.
I kind of want to move away from that and just focus on like the training part.
Yeah. So, what have you been doing for training and how have you like kind of developed more of insight for that? Like, are you a personal trainer or have you taken courses or anything like that? Or what kind of studies do you do for that?
I've thought of doing my PT certification, but I haven't yet. Um, just because I'm trying to focus on building this program and
Hmm.
still working. So a lot of things I've learned are like trial and error. So when I first went to the gym, my form was so bad. I couldn't do proper exercises. And looking back, I wish I had recorded myself more so that I could see how bad my form was.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I find that like anecdotal and like my own personal experience, in working with people, doesn't matter how many certificates if you have, if you don't know how to train someone, if you don't know how to be personable with someone and like actually teach them how to do things, like you can know everything about training, but if you don't know how to execute it, if you don't know how to get on someone's level, like it's pointless, right? So, that's really cool. And I've even noticed with your physique, you have really grown. And I do think, like, having that better relationship with food and not being fearful, you've been able to grow a lot more and actually see your body transform because that's what a lot of girls that I deal with, they're scared to eat and they want to grow the glutes, but they want to do hours of cardio.
That was me.
All right. So what made you want to like start working out or when did you start like actually weight training?
So when I had my eating disorder, all I did was cardio, not because I enjoyed it, but because I wanted to burn as many calories.
Hmm.
So I wanted to be as thin as possible to lose weight, even though I was already underweight. So it wasn't until 2017 when I started working at the health food store as a nutritionist, and my coworker, who was working out at the time, he got me into the gym. It was like a really cheap gym, um, but I went with him anyways, and that's when I first started learning how to do certain exercises and using machines.
Hmm.
But I was still fearful of food at the time. Like I was still struggling with food and just being scared to eat. So I wasn't able to make much progress at the gym, also not even knowing how to do the exercises properly. But I'm really glad I started.
So what did you do to like help you learn how to do exercises properly or get more into the resistance training and kind of like shaping your body? Like what, because I know you said you didn't do the personal training or anything yet, but like obviously you had to learn from someone or something, right? So what was kind of your resources?
So when I was working at the health food store, I continued working out with my friend. So he taught me a lot about form, and he
Hmm.
himself was he was learning from his personal trainer, so he would
Oh,
share
nice.
his tips. And
That's
then
so nice.
yeah, and then last year when I met my boyfriend, he's a PT, so we always work out together, and a lot of what I know now is because of him.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I love that. So for me personally, I've actually had quite a few trainers just from like doing bodybuilding and stuff like that. And I'm actually going to get a trainer for the next 4 weeks of my prep, someone to like freaking kill me. So I actually find that like learning from other trainers is like the best thing ever. You know, it's better than taking a course, to be honest. And that's an amazing resource to your boyfriend. That's awesome.
Especially since you are a PT yourself,
Yeah.
it's valuable to learn from someone else.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do when I started personal training, I actually didn't even have a certificate yet. So that's the funny thing. I like was training people and I wasn't even certified yet. I just kind of basically went to Good Life. I'm like, give me a job. And they're like, you have to get your personal training certificate. I'm like, okay, I will. So I was already like working with people before I even had my own training certificate. A lot of the stuff that I knew was just from bodybuilding. So, and learning from other trainers, right? So that knowledge is it can be very powerful for sure.
Yeah,
So
you said like
sorry,
about
what you
how you said like it doesn't matter how many certifications you have. It's your ability to apply what you know and
Mhm.
get from experience.
Yeah, 100%. And I've seen you work out, so I mean, you know what you're doing. So what keeps you motivated to live this healthy lifestyle, and what do you do when you are not motivated?
So that's a good question. I get that question a lot. Like when people tell me what they're struggling with, it's always motivation. Like, how
Hmm.
do I stay motivated to work out? And my answer is that it's not the motivation that you're looking for, it's the discipline. So, the reason I'm so dedicated to living this lifestyle is because I know it makes me feel good, not just physically, but mentally. So, when I crush a good workout session, I know it makes me feel so good afterwards. And just knowing that the more I'm consistent, the more results I see. And that's where you stay motivated. So it's not when it's not like you have to feel motivated in order to start something. It's you get your ass up, you do the thing, and once you're done with that thing, you feel good about it and you
Yeah,
see results. And that's why you keep staying motivated.
yeah, for sure. So it's motivation is not always going to be there, right? So that's where the discipline comes in. And I find even when like I don't want to do a workout, just doing 5 minutes on the treadmill, I start getting pumped up, and that motivation will come once I'm like actually moving, right?
Yeah, usually the hardest part is just getting started.
Yeah, even with like cleaning your room. It's the same shit.
That will have to do with your mindset, actually.
Yeah. Do you find building habits also just like making it a habit? Like, because for me personally, going to the gym is not something on my to-do list. It's not on my checklist. It's just something I do. And I know I'm going to do it at some point in the day. So even if it's not in my schedule in the morning, I just know that at some point I'm going to be working out. And that is just, it's a non-negotiable for me. It's just like, that's just something I do every day. It's like,
Yeah.
waking up and brushing my teeth.
Mhm. I actually read somewhere that a habit is something you do without thinking.
Yeah.
So that's similar to going to the gym. It's like it's the no-brainer. It's something I do, you know.
Yeah.
It does take time to get there, but if you truly enjoy it, it's a habit.
So, what would you say to someone that is not seeing results? So, maybe someone that is kind of in a building phase. So, if you had like a girl that was, she was trying to build her glutes, and obviously, when you're trying to build your glutes, you can't be trying to burn calories, right? So, what would you say to someone that is trying to do something like that and it takes like time, right? And they might not see the instant results of, weight loss.
Hmm. Yeah, it takes a long time for women to build muscle. And I think there's like a big misconception when trying to grow your glutes where some women think that doing like banded exercises or body weight exercises is enough to stimulate glute growth, which is okay at the very beginning, but you have to progressively overload. You have to follow a specific training plan, and you have to eat enough food. And all of that takes weeks and months, years of hard work. So the
Yep.
biggest thing is just to be consistent and patient. I know it takes a long time because I've been there, and a lot of people I talk to, they expect instant results or quick results because
Hmm.
that's what, I guess that's what we're like wired to get. It's like we want to feel quick results, but just focus on the consistency. And something you can do, I guess, is take progress pictures. That's helped me a lot. Like, I really wish I took more pictures in the past. Um, I kept trying to look back at old pictures to see if I could find pictures of my glutes from like 2015. I just
Yep.
can't, because I was really ashamed of my body back then. So I never took pictures.
Yep.
And now I'm so regretful that I don't have any pictures to compare to.
I know, I know. It's hard to get someone to be like, hey, if you take this picture now, it's something you can look back on, even if it's not, even if you take a picture in the midway through, like that's a big progress. And people don't realize like 1 pound of progress, a half pound of gaining muscle on a woman can look so different. You gain a pound of muscle, like that's going to change your physique a lot. Not just a little bit, like a lot. Like gaining a pound of muscle is hard stuff, especially if you're not an enhanced athlete. And like that's just the thing when we look on Instagram, like all these people, like they're enhanced or photoshopped or the lighting or whatever. Like I can make myself look so freaking jacked just by the lighting and the angle. I can make myself look huge, and then you see me in person, you're like, you're so small.
I agree.
Yeah. So
Guilty of.
that's a really hard thing to teach women. And I think we all know it. We all know that Instagram and all these social media platforms are a lie, but it's just I even find myself, what's something that you do for that, when you're following people and they look like freaking amazing and you're like, why don't I look like that? What's something that you do for yourself?
Um, yeah, it's really hard because Instagram is so visual, and most of the time people are posting the best pictures of themselves. And whenever I feel bad about that, I just remind myself that I do the same thing. I tend to post the best pictures of myself and delete the ones that are not so good.
Hmm.
So it's just reminding myself that, I don't always look like the photos I post, just because sometimes I'll take a selfie after a good shoulder workout. Obviously, my shoulders
Hmm.
are pumped. And I take those pictures because I know I feel like I look good.
Yeah.
So it's like reminding myself, okay, even I don't look that way all the time. There's no way these women look like that 100% of the time. So it doesn't make sense for me to compare myself to them because, even they don't look like that all the time.
Yeah. Do you ever stop following people?
Yeah, I unfollow people all the time that make me feel bad.
Some people think like, oh, why doesn't like that motivate you to like be better? It's like it's not real. And if someone's content is making me feel like shit, like you don't
Mhm.
have to look at it.
Yeah.
Also, the great thing is that you can mute people now too. So you don't even have to unfollow them. So if they're your friend, like sometimes even my friends trigger me, right? So you can just like mute them and you're still following them, you're still friends, but you just don't have to see their stuff all the time. So could you describe a time that you really feel like you were struggling and then you overcame it? That's something that Goal Crushers really like to talk about is those, the struggle and then the win after. So what's something that you really struggled with and you overcame it? Let's do it this year. So I don't want to talk about the eating disorder stuff anymore, but like maybe just like even through COVID.
I guess when the pandemic started, that's when I started my business. So I guess last year I kind of thought that I would want to do coaching, um, but I never actually did it because I had no idea where to start. I thought I needed a
Yep.
website, like a fancy brand. Like I had no idea about marketing or anything. So when the pandemic started, I started studying things online, like listening to podcasts and watching videos and kind of learning little things here and there. And then I started my coaching business, I guess. I was working from home, so I still have a full-time job, but I knew I wanted to do something for myself. So that's when I started coaching women, and I didn't think that would be possible, especially during the pandemic. I've signed on clients who've lost their job because of COVID, and it's pretty crazy. Like my mindset totally shifted. I used to be very, I'm not sure what you call it, like scared of money, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a term for that. Like being fearful around talking about money or talking about sales or marketing, anything related to sales, I was scared to talk about.
Would you maybe, I don't know, I'm just thinking like maybe like imposter syndrome in a way, like I can't, like I'm not actually a coach, like why would you want to work with me type of thing, like I'm a fraud in a way.
Yeah, because I was like, I've never worked with people as a coach, and I felt like I wasn't the right person.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's imposter syndrome.
I felt like I didn't have the knowledge, the experience, but I knew I had the knowledge. I just had to apply it. So the more I worked with women, the more feedback I got, and I learned so many things along the way. And so that's kind of related to what we talked before, like getting started is the hardest part. But
Yeah.
once you do it, you learn so much along the way, and you can always adapt. So one of the biggest things I learned throughout this process was just to get started, don't wait until things are perfect. I'm so bad at that. I always try to make things perfect. So, you don't have to make things perfect. You learn as you go. So that's the biggest lesson I took away.
Yeah. It's just making me think, like, it just sounds like me so much because like I do the exact same thing, and I think those are things that make you, a good coach. So, you want them to be perfect. You're going to strive for the best. You're going to put that knowledge out, and you're not going to act like you know everything because, we don't, right? So that's probably why, you're thriving right now, and you are a good coach because you're learning along the way, and you have the heart for it, and it's going to show, right? Eventually, you just have to keep putting in the work, right? Got to put in the time.
Yeah. Put in the reps.
Yeah, exactly. Build up the endurance. So what is a piece of advice that you would give someone that is just starting on their fitness journey? Or like, what is something that you wish someone told you when you first started? Like back in 2017 when you started lifting, what is something that you wish someone told you?
There's so many things I would tell myself.
But just pick one. You can just pick one.
I
Or
think
you can give me two or three.
I would tell myself, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 8.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all for me, I'm so guilty of always comparing myself to other people, especially at the beginning. So, um, comparing my physique or the way I look, um, how much weight I can lift. So it's hard not to compare yourself to others, but you have to remind yourself that this is your own journey. And if you're comparing yourself to someone else, maybe they've been training for 3 years and you just got started. So it's not even like it's not on the same level to compare to.
Yeah.
At the same time, your journey is so unique and it's your body. You can be training and eating the exact same way as another woman, but your results will be different because your body is special. So I know that if I'm going to follow, some bikini pros training plan, I'm not going to have her body.
Yeah.
So you just have to focus on your own progress, measure your progress to yourself and no one else's.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That was so nice. Okay, I want to go into some fun questions. So, what is like your favorite go-to meal for like, okay, one where you're just like going out with the boyfriend, and then one where you're like, this is going to get me to my goals?
I feel like you know my favorite fun
I
meal.
want you to tell us though.
It's definitely burgers and fries.
Oh, I love burgers and fries.
Usually when we order out, it's going to be burgers.
Yeah. Do you have any like favorite go-to place like that you really like getting a burger from?
We recently moved, so we've been ordering a lot like food in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when we first moved here, I really started liking Five Guys.
I've actually never been to Five Guys. I know it's like a big chain, but I've never been there. I always go to like weird diners and like try it out and see like, wonder what I'll get this time. And it's either like, oh, that sucked, but sometimes you like find like a really solid one, you know?
And the fries have to be good too.
Yeah. Sweet potato fries or regular fries?
I just like regular fries.
Oh, I love sweet potato fries. I like the chipotle mayo.
I mean, they're good too, but I just like a regular good fry.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. To each their own, right? So what meal would you say is like your favorite go-to meal that's going to like get you to your goals, help you hit those macronutrients and micronutrients? Like what's something that you eat on a daily? Like for me, it's oatmeal. I love my oatmeal.
I guess it would be my breakfast.
Hmm.
Lately, it's always been scrambled eggs with a sandwich.
Ooh, what
My,
kind of sandwich?
so in my scrambled eggs, I usually put a couple of eggs and then I add diced tomatoes, mixed greens, um, mozzarella, and slices of turkey that I cut up.
That sounds really good.
It's actually so filling.
Yeah,
You get the protein from the eggs, and then the sandwich, you get the carbs and the protein.
nice. All right, next one. If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? If you were like on an island and there's only one food item, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think it would be the grilled cheese and turkey sandwich that my boyfriend makes. It's
A
so
grilled
good.
cheese turkey sandwich. That's awesome. This one's kind of lame, but are you a goal crusher?
Hell yes, I am.
And what are your socials so people can follow you, follow your advice, and maybe even reach out to you?
So my Facebook and Instagram is Sindy Ing Fitness. That's SINDYNG Fitness.
Nice.
And I'm currently working on a website and it's called cindyingfitness.com.
Nice. So, yeah, Sindy has like amazing content, um, very knowledgeable. It's all like fact checked. She's not going to give you some woohoo stuff. So, I really trust her. I think she's amazing health coach and she's going to do so well. She already is. And I'm so thankful that you came onto this podcast because I think that we need more people that are, you know, science-based and is going to give you the truth, not going to sugarcoat it, and also like build some freaking glutes because it's anything to build glutes. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we leave?
Um, I guess to all the ladies that are listening, if you're just starting out on your journey, I want to wish you all the best and let you know that this shit takes time. So be patient and consistent and go and crush it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. I'll talk to you later. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.